3 years ago, I lost my little sister. There must be somebody who can help. There must be somebody.
It's something I'd always wanted to do. I'd never, the timing of doing it, the timing had never felt quite right to do it, because I wasn't sure how best to adapt it because it's so dark. The key to telling the story was that we had to meet our lead character, Nathan, in such a way that we fall in love with him before we find out what he's done. And that then suggested to me a kind of format. It's got the way we've done it, we've got 3 timelines nested in each other. There's a present day timeline and there's 2 flashback timelines. And that idea came from the place that I knew that we needed to get to know and like Nathan before we found out what he did. And actually, we love Russell the minute we see him anyway, so I needn't have worked so hard.
They've got to be conflicted emotionally when they watch Nathan. They're going to be, on one hand, they really care for him and he's the hero and he's the one they want to do well. But on the other hand, it is very problematic, Nathan. The things that have occurred and the choices he's made are very problematic, and the decisions that were made in his past. So as an audience, you are conflicted because you love him, but you could be disturbed by him. And I wanted to make him completely raw and full of love. And if things hadn't happened in his past, he would be a really sweet, loving, well-adjusted, happy man.
They're digging up the woods. Why would you marry her? Nathan, what have you done?
Don't mention my wife again.
Psychological thriller with a whiff of a ghost story. Neil, are you still happy with that one?
It is a psychological thriller in terms of its genre, but you asked what Russell brought to it, and actually I think what Russell brought to it is everything, because what it is primarily is a love story. It's what it always wanted to be. It's what it always needed to be.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult story to tell given the nature of what Nathan has done. And what Russell brought to that is this astonishing level of emotional complexity to the character.
So who was that?
Bob.
This is you and Mr. Morrow at 4:12 a.m.
Sorry?
It's like a big kind of post-war, mid-century modern block with glass everywhere. So when you're creating a thriller horror, the fact that it's raining outside and it's dark and you can hear noises, but you can't see out there, but everybody can see in, that kind of goldfish bowl quality, adds to the ambience. So I think, to have that element of completely being exposed, even though you're in your home, is really key to this.
All I want to do is to make her happy, and she's happy.
I'm profoundly skeptic. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe that ghosts are the articulate spirits of the dead come to impart their wisdom or their anxieties or their terrors. But ask me that question at 3 o'clock in the morning when the wind is blowing, and I'll give you a very different answer. A great many of us, in some way during our life, I think it's 85%, will experience the presence in some way of a loved one. And probably, almost certainly, that's a comforting psychological delusion. It's something which we do to ourselves to bring comfort to ourselves. But it does mean that the experience of a ghost is a normal part of human existence. It doesn't mean they're objective things, but we do experience and interact with these things. And I find that fascinating. And I'm just scared of ghosts. I'm just flat out really, really frightened of ghosts.
This bloke.
Stay away from my family.
We have to tell her.
It was a challenge just emotionally, because it's a lot, because everything you say, everything he's playing, underneath every line, it's basically what he's not saying is this show for Nathan. And underneath every line is so much nuance and emotional entrapment. He's just containing everything. It's like a Pandora's box constantly inside him that he just cannot let explode. And to play that was really fun, and I really put myself there. I really threw myself into doing that and let myself get a bit screwed up doing it, because I am normally like on set like a cheeky chappy guy, but with this part I couldn't be, because it was just I had to just be in it the whole time, which was amazing to do and hard.
So going back and forward was on set, because obviously you're driven by the locations rather than the story, you know, was quite a challenge. Which of 3 time zones were we in, particularly for Russell? I think Bob had very clearly defined looks, but Russell had to sort of shimmy between 3 looks and kind of, you know, chart his own inner turmoil very specifically at every point.
Tell her what? You put it right.
I can't.
It's been years.
She's haunting me, Nathan.
I don't see a huge crossover, but of course both shows come from the same broad imagination, and that all film crews hate me because I make them shoot at night very often.
Yes.
Outside, outside, not in a nice
is
warm house at night, but outside.
If there's a sequel, it should be in the summer during the day.
Yeah.
In a house.
So it's got that in common. Lots of night shoots. Yeah, I mean, and I suppose I have a taste for putting lead characters through the absolute emotional ringer, and this has that in common with that show, in that we take Nathan, whom we love, and we put him through absolute hell and enjoy the process.
If you're here, do something.